Emerging as one of the most powerful crime syndicates in the galaxy, the Hutt cartel faced intense competition throughout the Jedi Civil War and Dark Wars, primarily from the Exchange, a new gang growing so influential they soon became the most prominent organization on Nar Shaddaa. Challenging Hutt dominance even on their own moon, for a time the Exchange was led by Godo, a super-intelligent droid so successful as a crime lord, he became a target of assassination for bounty hunters hired by enemies like Voga the Hutt. While the Exchange continued to exist past 3627 BBY, the Hutts eventually took back control of Nar Shaddaa, and for a brief time even allied with the Exchange to oppose the Harrido-walled syndicate on the mining station mek-sha. Although the Hutts remained neutral during the Great Galactic War from 3681 to 3653 BBY, they did partner with the Republic to mine adrenals on the planet Quesh, a project led by 3 Hutt clans eager to exploit the opportunity for profit. Yet when the Sith learned of this secret deal, the Hutt Grand Council was forced to denounce and oppose the 3 Hutt clans, declaring them outlaws acting without approval. Determined to end this partnership, the Sith sent a strike team which disrupted the mining operation and assassinated the Hutt leaders. After the Sith declared victory in the Great Galactic War, the Hutts once again remained neutral during the Cold War that followed, hosting criminal elements from all sides on Nar Shaddaa. However, some individuals did choose to ally with a specific faction, like Kabura the Hutt, who operated the HoloNet communications grid on behalf of the Sith Empire. Seeking further allies, the Sith sent an espionage agent to frame the Republic in an attack against Suda Nemro, and in doing so successfully won his support for the Empire. Yet the Republic also had its allies, like Barish Fennec Toril, who eagerly aided them in order to exact vengeance against the Mountain Syndicate, which stole leadership of the Kintan King's crime gang on Nar Shaddaa. After the supposed death of the Emperor, the Hutts under Supreme Mogul Taboro stepped out of the shadows to put forth their own claim as a dominant superpower, invading the planet mek-sha to mine Isotope 5, a radioactive form of Illyrium known as the rarest substance in the galaxy, able to warp gravitational and electromagnetic fields so that even a small amount produced enormous energy, citing the example of 1 microgram able to power a datapad for a century. Planning to exploit Isotope 5 to manufacture weapons to conquer the galaxy, Taboro was ready to exterminate the entire population of mek-sha in order to extract what he needed. Unwilling to die for Hutt ambitions, the local population formed a resistance movement which allied with the Republic and ended the operation. When the other Hutts realized the mission failed, they abandoned Taboro and negotiated passage off mek-sha. Among those that escaped was Dr. Juvard Ilip Agurab, the former chief scientist of the project who agreed to help end the reign of his former employer, believing Taboro had gone mad. When a Republic strike force at last confronted the Hutt leader, he refused to surrender and attempted to ignite his entire stock of Isotope 5 to destroy all nearby enemies, even at the cost of his own life. Yet the plan failed and Taboro died just before his palace collapsed. Failing to become a legitimate galactic superpower, the Hutts returned to their rule as crime lords for the next 2,500 years, until the new Sith era, when they lost a number of worlds to Dark Lords expanding into their space. Yet by 1032 BBY, the Sith had lost any semblance of unity, with petty warlords fighting among themselves for dominance. Steadily in decline, the Republic made matters worse for the Sith by cutting off their communication relays, which then allowed the Hutts to reconquer their lost worlds, making deals with some Sith Lords while destroying any who opposed them. Confident in their growing strength, Zodo the Hutt sought to expand beyond their space by invading the planet Aqualaris held by Sith Lord Daemon. Yet the Republic sent a fleet to help defend the population, and in the end, Zodo was captured and killed by the Sith. Although most Hutts were eager to seek profit, some few found callings outside their normal business operations, like Beldorion, a rare Force-sensitive Hutt who trained as a Jedi from 600 to 400 BBY. Arriving on Namchorios, Beldorion found that local crystals amplified his powers and fell to the dark side, ruling the planet as a dictator. Centuries later, some years before the Clone Wars, Jabba the Tiur rose as a powerful Hutt crime lord who eventually united the clans under his leadership, convincing them it was more profitable to work together rather than compete against each other, expanding their space to include planets like Tatooine, Gindain, and Tungo. Although they remained neutral during the Clone Wars, using the opportunity to profiteer as much as possible, they started to lose influence in some of their systems, which sided with the Separatists against the Republic. Even so, some, like Burka the Hutt, chose to work with the Confederacy of Independent Systems, relaying intelligence about their enemies. Jabba, meanwhile, aided whatever side offered the most profit, like when he smuggled Cortosis to the Separatists. Yet when the Republic saved his son, he returned the favor by granting them passage through the Arcanus sector, where Separatists were not permitted. Though their most lucrative trade deals were with the Separatists, a conflict arose when they started recruiting mercenaries from the Hutt world Gamorre, and so the Grand Council petitioned the Confederacy of Independent Systems and arranged a compromise wherein the Separatists paid a fee for every soldier recruited. Ever eager to seek profitable opportunities, Tagta the Hutt destroyed the Republic's ships in the Sheila Run, planning to demand 1 billion credits from the government in exchange for safe passage. To investigate the situation, the Jedi Council sent Obi-Wan Kenobi and Grandmaster Yoda, who neutralized Tagta's forces, before negotiating a deal to pay only 1 credit for Republic passage through the Sheila Run, while demanding Tagta also prevent any Separatist presence, or else their government would launch a more thorough investigation into his criminal activities. While Jabba convinced most Hutt to work together rather than against each other, not all were willing to unite under his leadership, like Zero the Hutt, who plotted to kidnap Jabba's son Rhoda, only to be foiled and arrested by the Republic. Fearing what he might reveal since he kept records of all Hutt activities in a holodiary, the Grand Council hired the famed bounty hunter Cad Bane, who successfully freed Zero and brought him back to Hutt space. Imprisoned on Nal Hutta, Zero was freed by his former lover, the Palawic Sice Noodles, and together they recovered the holodiary from the grave of Zero's father on Teth. Yet it was all a ruse, and Sice Noodles killed Zero before returning the diary to her employer, Jabba the Hutt. If you're looking for something new to read, why not check out Fugitives of Helheim by Alex E. Martin, a longtime follower of Civilization X, and author of a great new fantasy book based on Norse mythology about 2 long-lost brothers from the famous Volsung bloodline meeting for the first time in the underworld after dying in glorious deaths. This infamous dragon slayer and shapeshifter learn they've been granted a second chance at attaining paradise, but must claw their way through the underworld's undead legions to earn it. It's an all-or-nothing gamble against the queen of the underworld, Hell, where their souls are the prize. They forge unlikely alliances with gods, Valkyries, and powerful beings, fight infamous villains, confront the ghosts of their past, and battle against insurmountable odds to inch closer to salvation. If interested, be sure to check out the link below, or go to Amazon.com where the book is available for purchase. A special thanks to all those who contribute to Civilization X, like Tamika the Black Wolf, Sir Xavier, Defender of the Flame, Ishmam Ahmed of Shamiriana, and Admiral Flint. If you'd like to help the channel, be sure to give a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and click on the links below, or else go to patreon.com/civilizationx, where you can gain early access to videos and watch the Patreon-only series, Heroes of Lore and Legend.